What are some of the best champions to ascend in-game in 2024? Hello everybody. So welcome to a updated video. I did do this video back in 2023 when Ascension was kind of like in its infancy, and of course a lot of things do change. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. I think I put Storm down I put like Storm down as in D and also Hulk in D. So yeah, when I got a chance to go back to some of these old guides, yes, I will make improvements and I will make changes. Since I made my video back in September, and that's I think 8 months ago, or maybe a bit more, a lot of things have changed with Ascension. You can get dust more frequently, so of course decisions are like easier to make, and of course you can spend now to grab them more easily. So look, that's that. There's also other champions that have come into the game since then, like Onslaught, which is a very annoying and difficult defender. Same thing with Bullseye. So if you add an Ascension to that champion, the idea and narrative behind it is, well, you made a defender more stronger, more annoying. Same thing with Maestro, which is an exclusive champion. So there's lots of different levels of complexity to look over this. You also got to go as far as to say, like, Ascension could be good with a champion that doesn't have good front end of attack. Warlock, for example. Until you put some kind of double-edged liquid courage mastery. Then it becomes relevant to go, well, he does more damage with Ascension with non-liquid courage double-edged masteries, but he also does more damage with Ascension and all those things as well. Yes, there are indeed high levels of complexity to the game when it comes to Ascension and making those particular decisions. So just before we get into the tier list, I have put in the spreadsheet, which I'll put a link to in the description, the graph. This is a fantastic graph. This was from a live stream that Kabam did a long time ago, which pinpoints where a champion is able to have this index of power comparison. I kind of go back to the days of Tater's videos, Lumitators, who are formerly of 4 Loki. I don't know if he's actually in 4 Loki. Any case, fantastic videos with the power index of champions. But the way that a champion scales in damage based on the effectiveness per rarity and stuff, and all, like basically saying an ascended champion at rank 5 as a 6-star is this. That is equal to a 7-star at rank 3. That's kind of like that. And you can see that in this graph. So a 7-star rank 3 is in this blue, this kind of purple line right here. So this goes up there to rank 3, which is on here where my mouse is. Providing you can see my mouse. I hope you can see my mouse. I'll bring the arrow in. Some people complained about the arrow, but in any case, I'm just going to put it there because it gives you a bit of an idea. So there's rank 3 7-star there, which is equal to a rank 5 6-star, which is there. Or rank 5, yeah, I think, yeah, rank 6 ascended 6-star right there. So you can see it's equal in level to that. Of course, you've got to be very careful about Ascension because it's going to be about looking 7 stars. If there's 7-star rarity of champions, is it worth kind of ranking up the 6-star versus doing 7-star? Yes and no. Yes, because the extent of investment in the 6-star being as powerful as a 7-star rank 3, it's on the level. So you're investing in things like, well, it's more costly. If I had a 6-star Mole Man, right, it would be cheaper, and I'd say save my tier 4 alphas if I had a 6-star version ascended to rank 5 versus rank 3ing. Of course, a lot of people are rank 3ing 7-star versions of Mole Man, not in some ways understanding the level of kind of balance to it. But look, you do you at the end of the day of how you approach stuff, but there's kind of lines to this particular element of investment. Like, I'll give you an example. I've just picked up Onslaught, but if I pick up a 7-star Onslaught next week, then I've got to make that decision, or whenever I pick it up, or if I pick it up, I've then got to make the decision and go, well, is it best for a champion that's not in the 7-star pool to rank that up versus, you know, doing the 6-star version? So you've got to think about these things. But in any case, let's get into the tier list. What has changed? What I think is important about change with this? Look, if you've got champions that do debuff damage, then of course you can ramp up the potency of them. Do some of these champions need it? No. It's like Human Torch. I decided to ascend my Human Torch because I was using him in Necropolis. That gives methodology to that. Would I recommend it for everybody? Not so much. Does he do more damage and can be very effective against a lot of champions that you're finding as 7-star rank 3s on Defense and Alliance Wars? Yes. And there's obviously a decent kind of like shout for that. The same thing with Nick Fury. Nick Fury is a champion that you can ascend, and also he can be annoying in Defense and Battlegrounds. Yes, that's kind of like a logical way of looking at it. Defensive elements, Bullseye. Yes, another champion. You can make that champion ascended a rank 5, and he's going to be equal in potency to something that's 7-star rank 3 and be very annoying. The same thing could be for Maestro if you're looking to just do a completion of Necropolis. So again, you've got all these particular examples. I recently upgraded Storm and Hulk to this because I feel that they would be just great options. They're great champions. Werewolf by Night is a recent addition. It's definitely come in because those rupture damages can be very, very effective and nice, and definitely from an offensive end. I'm using him not so much with defensive, but definitely from an offensive. I'm finding some great joy with the champion. Having an ascended version of Aegon can be incredibly effective in Necropolis, which is definitely a reason that he's been put into here, increasing things like the Fury, not Fury, but kind of interacting with that Fury to do more damage, go figure, and a bigger SP2 damage of bleed for those that bleed in that. Serpent as well has been added in because he's an annoying defender at this moment in time. Yes, there are counters for a lot of these champions, but he's still an annoying defender. And as well, decent on attack, especially with you getting buffs. Hey, do more damage, get more health, very, very helpful. Look, it makes perfect sense. And the usual suspects are there, like Gallon, Hercules, Kitty Pryde. You know, we've got, I think, Baron Zemo, we've got Kate Bishop, Scorpion, did I say Gallon? Anyway, all of these kind of Hulkling, all these go-to champions. And of course, if you want to add in more defensive elements of these ones that are going to be really annoying, then go for it, because they're going to be just great assets. I've put a link, I put information in the description. You can go and check up the write-up in the description. It just has a lot of the changes. Like Guillotine 2099, I added into this, or kind of yeah, she moves up in ramp because of the degen damage that scales an increase. America Chavez as well. I don't know why I had, and this is the thing, isn't it? This is why I'm constantly reviewing. I'll drop into the comment section and see where people might advise to change some champions in placement. Weapon X has been an annoying ascended champion for Battlegrounds for me and many others as well, so I'm seeing that. The same thing with having the likes of Jessica Jones in as a defensive option, so that's that. Shuri, I think I had Shuri down, no, she might have stayed there. Shock damage improvements and damage in general can make her very effective, and especially if you're looking to take something into Necropolis, she again is a great answer to that. But also don't forget champions that are going to be able to be, that are kind of low end, that could really benefit from having that Ascension. Iceman, for example, Magneto, both are really good champions, but they do struggle a bit to be kind of ranked up past stuff like rank 3, rank 4 for a lot of players. So this could be a good shout to take them up further if you've got the resources for it. Tigra is definitely up there as one of the top ones, and Cable really needs it. Yes, Cable's got synergies. Yes, he's got interaction, but if he is given that Ascension, he can be very, very helpful. Same with, obviously, Mole Man, as we said. Spider-Man 2099, I think, really needs it because he needs to be... He's got a low end of defense, and it's kind of, I'm not saying he's paper thin, but there's a lot of champions that are kind of paper thin that then would really benefit from an extra bit of life, but also an extra bit of damage at the same time. Especially because you're going to be using it as an offensive-based champion, not a defensive. So that's something to bear in mind. We go down the list as well. Juggernaut is just great in general. Again, a lot of these are down to personal preference because I would like to ascend a champion, but I can't ascend every single champion. And that's something that does separate out, I think, a lot of opinion on both kind of rows between what is the God tier, what is the like second from God tier, demigod tier with it. And then, of course, right down at the bottom, which I do have Angela, but that's the problem with Angela. Like, I don't... She's good. Like, she is fantastic. I use her a lot, but I don't know whether or not I'd ascend her. Mainly because there's a lot of champions that I use a lot more frequently. And this is, again, like, don't take a lot of stuff out of context with this particular video. But there will be champions you will say, well, I use that on more than that on Rich. And it's like, fair play. You know, that could be a champion, again, down to personal preference. And maybe that's me being a little bit biased to say I don't use Angela as much, except for in incursions. Would she be a better rank 5 and ascended champion for solely incursions? Well, yes. But if I'm not using her, I'm using Hercules. But if I'm not using Hercules, I'm using Hulk. And if I'm not using Hulk, I will use something else. Like, I want to use Mr. Sinister. So will Mr. Sinister in theory be lower down? No, because he's a fantastic new champion, and that degen damage mixed in with some of the nodes and hacks can be very, very effective. The same way a lot of the new champions, like Deathless champions, they are good, but because they don't cover a broad spectrum of content, that means that there's a bit of an issue there. And I've even put King Groot down as like the third kind of like spiciest champions. I have ascended in myself, but I'm very specific. With 250, 60 champions, you have to make very big decisions of who gets the rank, who gets the ascension, and is it in your best interest from a defensive and offensive perspective. Also, I'd have put in that even for 5 stars, of course, the usual suspects for that. Grab the arrow, there we go, those ones there. Yeah, do bear in mind, those are exclusives. In any case, that has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. Check out some other content. And what champions are your top Ascension champions and why? Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye for now.